delegation for an understanding first to make it very clear that the relationship between Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta is intact. And we know that it is built on a rock and nobody can assail it or bring it down. And they made that handshake in the year 2018, first to bring peace to Kenya, peace and stability. And they have brought peace and stability to Kenya. Secondly, was how to make Kenya a better nation so that the future generations would not live some of their lives we have lived, of challenges, of suffering, and of problems which keep on recurring in this country called Kenya. So in that respect, I wanted to say the following. One, Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta have committed themselves in this second phase. The first stage was the handshake and bringing peace and stability. The second stage was BBI. And I hope that when we come to the referendum in June or July, that referendum is going to pass with overwhelming majority. And we praise the people of Siaya for being #1 in terms of county assemblies in the entire republic and showing the way how it should be done. Now, the first thing was about the rising debt in this country. There is a plan that probably we are going to raise the debt ceiling. And it is important to appreciate that the burden of debt can oppress a nation for generations. So I'm hoping this time around the parliamentarians, including myself, will look at this question of debt very critically. Because it is debt that is making people in Kenya have little money in their pockets. Even the governor has talked about 15%. That 15%, if you have debts, they have to be paid. The Constitution says you must pay your debts first. So any rising debts is going to lead to circumstances where there is not enough money to bring to the county. So serious. In this country, as Uhuru and Raila are talking about BBI, there is a cabal, and I'm saying this without a fear of contradiction. There is a cabal inside government who are busy trying to chart the way how Kenya will be ruled in 2022. Civil servants have no business at this time, when we have got the Big Four agenda, wherever they sit, to discuss and debate on a weighty political objective of how the succession is going to take place. And we saw it during Kibaki's time, even during the first Kenyatta's time. I urge these civil servants to be compliant and obedient to political institutions and constitutional institutions. Because what we have witnessed in the last 3-4 months, and I'm talking as somebody who have seen how government works, whenever civil servants who are part of a cabal try to chart the destiny of a nation for their own personal interests, there can never be any peace. So this is just a warning shot, because we are going to expose these people. They are trying to derail us. They have already declared in their mind who is going to lead, who is going to rule Kenya next year. And I'm telling them, you are sowing, you are reaping where you have not sown. You are reaping where you have not sown. Without Raila Odinga, you could not be planning that issue of succession. So listen to these two principles, Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. And Otenda Molo and my colleagues in Parliament, we must expose a civil service that is doing politics. Even in BBI, they have led to the closure of the secretariat so that they run the BBI project from government offices which are not given that authority. That we had, it was Professor Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu and Kiraitu Murungi who were leading the process of the referendum. I therefore hope that this thing is going to be taken seriously so that these institutions, the way they are behaving, even in elections, you've seen how elections have been held this year. That cannot be an election. And I'm sure if any of these elections were to be taken through a court of law, Tinda Molo would be a witness. On account of what has happened, on an election day there should be peace, not violence. And the violence in Matungu and everywhere has been generated by these forces within the government. And they must be exposed. Because they had interest in Matungu, they had interest everywhere. But at least in Kisi, we defeated their interests and ODM won. Omewacha no Oromo, Monwetena Hegani.